What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to The Breakdown. I'm Alex. I'm here with Cameron and Peyton, and today we're going to be going over some fantasy football landing spots for the 2023 NFL Draft rookies. So, starting it off with the 101 in the NFL Draft, we have Bryce Young, went to the Carolina Panthers. Initial thoughts?
It's probably, I guess, up there with Stroud, one of the worst landing spots for quarterbacks because the weapons around him are just bad, plain and simple. His wide receiver one's a 33-year-old Adam Thielen, so that's going to be rough for first-year starting quarterback.
I kind of saw this as like Trevor Lawrence a couple years ago. Like, this is probably not the year to draft Bryce Young, but in 2 to 3 years when they add more weapons around him is when I feel like he would take off.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then Cameron already mentioned it, but CJ Stroud to the Houston Texans. Again, not really. He has a little more weapons, maybe. They did get Dalton Schultz. They drafted Tank Dell too.
And they got John Mechie coming back.
And but yeah, still not a lot of weapons there.
They did bulk up the offensive line though. They just re-signed, or they just signed Zach Mason yesterday, and they also re-signed Tunsil, so he'll have his weak side protected. So I think protection-wise, Stroud's way more protected than Young is, but obviously the weapons are a lot worse.
Yeah.
And then the third quarterback off the board, Anthony Richardson to the Indianapolis Colts.
The best landing spot out of all the quarterbacks. It's not much to complain. I mean, if they probably will let him start week 1, I assume, and sky's the limit with him. So
I think he definitely has the best situation out of the three, but he does have probably the most
tools.
He has the most tools, but also the most concerns over.
Yeah, I think what would interest me is if him and like JT ran like an option, or
he does have the rushing ability.
Yeah, something like that, like QB power. I'm interested to see what they do with him, because obviously Pittman's not really a crazy standout guy, so he doesn't have like the best weapons either. So we'll see what he does with that.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the first running back off the board. I didn't like this pick in the actual NFL, but in fantasy, Bijan Robinson. I mean, he's going to get 300 touches. 350 touches.
He might be a top 10, 15 pick this year.
I agree. I think he should be.
Yeah, I for sure think he should be a round 1 pick. He may even go top 7. So
I mean, you see how this year with 1,000-yard season last year is a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
And you have probably the best prospect since Saquon come at the running back position.
Slam dunk right there. He's going to be a top feet of the ball, top 12 pick for sure. Then we have another running back in Jahmyr Gibbs, who was a first-round pick. He went to the Detroit Lions.
So I saw something where they said he's going to play more of a Debo role. A lot of teams say that whenever they draft someone with like a receiving skill set like that, and it never really happens. But I could see him probably popping out 400 or 500 receiving yards. So I think he's going to be a good fantasy option. I don't think the touchdowns will be there
because they do have Montgomery and they paid him, so he's good.
Yeah.
My thing is, I think it all depends on where he's getting drafted. For me, I can't say that I'd want to spend a really high pick on him because we saw like with the Lions last year how they went about their split, I could see David Montgomery stealing a lot of touchdowns, and he's gonna play a role. So it just depends on where he's going for me. I don't know if I could draft him in like the 3rd round.
I kind of see him as like low RB3, high flex.
I see him as like the ETN of this year, because ETN last year was like playing touch with James Robinson. He didn't know who was going to get the starting role, and then obviously they traded Robinson. But I think they just paid Monty, so they're gonna probably keep him. But Gibbs is the receiving back, and he's fighting for rushing role.
Yeah, I think they're gonna run a lot of 2 running back sets, or just put Gibbs in the slot. Like I can really see that happening. So I think both will be playable for sure.
Yeah.
Then moving into the wide receivers, we have the Quentin Johnson.
So he went to the Chargers. I love the landing spot. I guess in a dynasty, it's probably going to be drafted high.
It's tough to
just
say.
Just with Mike Williams
first year
around
him. Yeah, but it depends. One of them could get cut. So I think it's more of like a long term. I like it, but this year it's going to be. I there's going to be production, but I know it's going to be big production.
Yeah. I mean, Chargers wide receiver threes tend to have some crazy weeks, so I mean,
Yeah.
maybe plug and play guy 1 week.
And then we have Jackson Smith at Jigba, who went to the Seattle Seahawks, joining Tyler Lockett and DK.
See, I don't know if I like this landing
I
spot.
love this landing spot.
But for fantasy value,
Dude,
You're gonna
that
have-
offense, like,
you're gonna have DK commanding 8 targets, Tyler Lockett commanding 8 targets.
I feel like JSN, though, could eventually
I think
step
eventually,
into the alpha role later on into the season.
well, later in the season, but I don't over DK.
I
dude,
mean, he's a better prospect.
JSN will command the whole middle of the field. And Gino's a great quarterback, and he'll find a way to get all 3 people the ball. So I think JSN is going to be a solid wide receiver too. I really
I
think.
mean, I think Lockett lost the most value on this.
I agree, yeah.
Because DK was already kind of like the targets weren't humongous. Like his receptions weren't up this year, but his targets were kind of up. But Lockett's going to lose out on a lot of production because Jason, like you said, commanded the middle of the field. So we'll see.
And then next we got Zay Flowers joining the Baltimore Ravens. I don't like it.
Any wide receiver with Lamar as their quarterback.
And they got Odell. Mark Andrews is still there. It's still a run first offense. I'm not really liking Zay Flowers this year unless it was like a really late run pick and you're just taking a flyer on him.
I'm totally agree with that.
Yeah, he'll be the second pass catcher on his team behind Mark Andrews. So I don't really see much value in
But I mean,
Flowers.
if they paid Lamar all this money, I think they would try to protect him more by throwing the ball a lot more. I don't know, because I mean, it depends if Zay impresses in like. Obviously, I think he's gonna impress in like training camp and stuff.
Moving on, we got Jordan Addison who went to the Minnesota Vikings, joining Justin Jefferson, kind of replacing Adam Thielen as the wide receiver too.
Kind of love this.
I do
I think I
too.
kind of
Yeah,
love
it's
this
hard
one.
not to.
I mean, you got a guy. I mean, like Jets is gonna get probably double teamed this year, or bracketed at least.
It's a high powered offense.
And
They
you- and
throw
you-
the ball a lot.
Yeah, and you I mean, you got. I mean, I don't know.
Also a defense that can't stop anybody,
Yeah,
so there's going to be a lot of shootouts.
How does this hurt or help TJ Hawkinson?
I think it's just. I think he kind of just stays the same. I don't think it hurts him too much. I don't think it helps him too much.
I mean, you had Thielen and Osborne taking some touches away, but Hawkinson.
Thielen's on the Panthers.
That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
you're saying. Thielen
Thielen going
Oh, yeah.
away and Osborne was there last year.
I think it's
so.
just kind of a lateral move for Hawkinson.
Yeah.
And then we have, moving on to tight ends, we have the only tight end to be selected in the first round, Dalton Kincaid.
I thought we talked about this between us, but we thought the Kincaid pick was weird considering they just extended Dawson Knox. I can see like the vision of probably them wanting to play more 12 personnel considering they were like dead last in it and they never threw to tight ends. So I can see like maybe they want to get tight ends more involved, but like that's just not something you just be like, all right, Josh Allen, throw it to the tight ends more. It's just not something that you particularly do.
Just that one kind of puzzled me, and I guess if we're talking fantasy value for this upcoming year, when it comes to tight ends, most of the time, rookie tight ends don't ever produce in the first place. And with the fact that Dawson Knox is there, I doubt they're going to throw this kid into the fire. And you still have Diggs, who's going to command all of the volume. You have Josh Allen running. I mean, so I think long term, maybe, but for the first season, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills' offense is really weird. Well, I mean, not weird, but you kind of have your guys that are penciled in.
Yeah.
But also, the thing with the Bills is, like, they play in some crazy weather a bunch.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kincaid's got, I mean, he comes from Utah, but I mean, like, you got to get used to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, like you said, they're not going to throw him in the fire. Like, late game, they're having Knox in. Like, it's going to be Knox. At least early on in the season.
Then our last player we're going to talk about is Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame, who was supposed to be, or he was supposed to be a first round pick, and
He did kind of slip.
he kind of slid, and he ended
Was
up
he,
with Las Vegas.
I think it's a great landing spot. Jimmy loves his tight ends. We saw it in San Francisco how he literally abused George Kittle. So with Waller gone, he's gonna be the tight end one in that situation. I think it's a great pick. I love Mayer as a prospect.
Is Foster Moreau still there? I think.
Foster
No,
Moreau
he
was
signed
in
with the Saints
the Saints yesterday.
yesterday.
Wow.
I kind of like this one. If I had to choose between Mayer and Kincaid for to draft next year, I'd probably draft Mayer just for the upside, and I think he's gonna probably have a bigger role on his team.
You know what I saw the biggest comparison to him was, like, obviously rookies don't produce, but the biggest thing I saw was like Mayer is gonna be second round pick because, like, before the draft happened, they said second round pick because he's just he's gonna just catch a bunch of balls basically. They were comparing him to like Jason Witten, like
Yeah, he's not
not like crazy players, but
Yeah.
he's just gonna catch the ball, like move the chains basically.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see if Jimmy G throws to him that much because it'll be cool to.
I'm interested
We'll
to
see. I
see
think-
Jimmy G outside of the
Yeah, I
San
think
Fran system.
Devontae's gonna get so many targets over there. He's like, I guess their only stud receiver. So we'll see how that shapens out.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening, and peace.
See you.